Okay, boys, I hope you're well. I am away today. Unfortunately, I've got to go to a funeral, so I'm going to leave you some instructions through this YouTube video and also your homework. So, what are you doing today? I think many of you know that you're doing your scenarios page, which is an extension to the previous page where you looked at different ideas, different possible ideas you can have for your NEA project. So the scenarios page, what is the thing we should do? Well, of course, we're going to start a new page, and the first thing we're going to pull up and we're going to put in is a title. That's the first thing. And of course, the last thing we're going to put in is a conclusion. Once we've done that, we're going to go to the intro. Now, what should the intro be? The intro should be on this page. I am going to look at 5 different possible projects for my NEA and analyze if they would be feasible for me to complete over the next 8 months. Something like that should be the introduction. Once we've done that, we can start writing out our possible projects. Now, the bright boys among you will probably do this in 2 different ways. You'll write down your 5 possible design briefs, and that will be done on a word processor like PowerPoint, for example. And then you'll do the right-hand side of this page, probably with a pen and a pencil, so that you have drawn and written things on this page as well. You've interacted on this page. So, first of all, for the first one, the first design brief. Now, design brief generally would be, I am going to design and make a tic-tac-toe game, for example, which is used by my sister on the way to school. This is not your actual design brief, so it's got to be, I could design and make a tic-tac-toe game that's going to be played by my sister on the way to school to alleviate a boring journey. That's fine. That's great. That's your first potential design brief finished. And then I want you to move on to number 2, number 3, number 4, and then number 5. So we've got 5 potential design briefs on there. What I want you to do on the right-hand side is put some lines in so we know, so we've got the page nice and ordered, we know what relates to what. And I want you to have some feedback on that first potential design brief. And you might want to do a drawing in there. If it's a tic-tac-toe game, some noughts and crosses, I think that's right. You might want to consider the outputs of a Genie 14. Have you got enough outputs? Have you got enough inputs? What materials could it be made of? Could it be made of wood? Could it be made of metal, plastic? Just have a think about that, what that end product would look like. Also, does this interest you? Do you find this interesting? Or do you find the whole tic-tac-toe, your sister going to school, not very interesting, or you're not very enthused about it, and therefore this is not going to be your NEA project? And also the technology that we have in DT. You might want to build a rocket that goes to the moon and comes back again and brings back samples of rock. Now, of course, we can't do that. We don't have the technology in this department to do that sort of thing. So have a think about everything and have a little summary, I suppose, on each of these areas, just saying possible or not possible. Once you've done that, that's more or less the page complete. Come up with a nice conclusion and then reflect on the whole thing and say, number 1's boring, number 2 and number 5, well, to be quite frank, I don't think we can do them. They take too much of my time, or the technology is not there in the department. But number 3 and 4, they sound really good. So, and number 4 sounds extra especially good because it involves my friend Billy or somebody and a racing car, and I'm really enthused about that. Therefore, I'm going to go with that one. And if you're going to go with it, put a ring around it, okay? So we know that's the project you're going to pursue over the next, 4, 5, 6, 7 months. Well, that is your work for today, and you should be able to get that page finished easily in the next 40 minutes. Right, going over to your homework. What is your homework? Your homework is the client profile. So we're going to start a page, and what's the first thing we put in? A title, client profile. What's the next thing we put in? Introduction, okay? The intro should be on this page. I am going to look at my client and analyze the situation or the problem so that I have an idea of what I need to do over the course of this project, over the course of this NEA. Once we've done that, remember, we've also got to put in the conclusion, haven't we? The conclusion at the end. So what do we have to do for homework? The first thing I would do is put in the problem/situation. Now, this could be, for example, my mum travels to work every day in the city, but gets bored on the train. She doesn't want to be on her phone because she's trying to reduce her screen time, but would love something which could improve her reaction time because she's recently taken up archery and reactions are really important. What she would dearly love is a simple product that she could carry around in a bag, which would improve her reaction time. And this is something I intend to investigate over the course of the next 40 pages. Something like that is the problem, okay? Now, once you've done that, we can go on to your client. And that could be something like, my mum is a 45-year-old lady who works in the city for Deutsche Bank and travels to work every day via the tube. She loves cycling at the weekend and is an enthusiastic cricketer and plays for the local team, Wandsworth Warriors. My mum recently got engaged to her new boyfriend or something, and we could just talk on and on and on about her, and also about where she lives. For example, the house she lives in, the pets she's got, her hobbies, what she doesn't like, maybe her color preferences. Okay, so we've got everything about the situation, we've got everything about the client, or a lot about those. Once you've done that, have a think about what images you can include. Now, of course, if your mum likes cricket, we could include an image of a cricket bat. If she works for a bank, we could include images of some cash. If she's recently got engaged, we could include an image of an engagement ring. If she works and goes to work on the tube, we could include a tube, couldn't we? We could also include a picture of your mum. And last of all, we could include a picture of someone putting up an umbrella. I think that's meant to be archery. Right, so we've got that on there as well. Let's move on to the second part of the homework, which is the interview. You've got to think about 7 different questions for your mum. In questions which are going to help you or help you design, and also think about how those questions are going to help you compile good research which are going to inform your later specification. For example, a question might ask her about, would she like the product to be portable? It might ask her, would she like it to be powered by batteries? Would she like it to be rechargeable? Is sustainability an important part of the product? Would she like it to be made out of wood, plastic, or metal? Okay, so there's loads of different things which you can ask her, and you can get informative answers which are going to inform your specification later. Right, I personally would record all of this, and I would include an audio file on your PowerPoint so you can listen back to it at any time. And the answers you give aren't the answers in full, but the answers are a reduced answer, so that we don't fill up the whole page with your mum talking or your client talking. So we've done the interview. Next up, we're going to go down to needs and wants. What are the needs and wants? Well, the needs could be things like, my mum needs the product to be able to fit into her handbag that she takes to work every day. She might want it, however, to be a warm colour like yellow or red. So you can see the difference between needs and wants. So look back at everything you've done, read through it, okay, and work out your needs and work out your wants. We're nearly there, guys. We're nearly there. There's going to probably be 5 needs, 5 wants, something like that. We've also got these PSPs, potential specification points. These are the things which are later going to inform your specification and probably will also be your needs. They may double up on this page. If there's a potential specification point, for example, the product must be portable, the product must be powered by batteries, the product must improve the reaction time of my client, things like that, you can include them down there, okay? And finally conclude your page. In addition to this, all the way through when we are writing our PSPs, we are going to copy and paste them onto your final document of your research, which is your specification. Your specification wants to be 4 different columns. On the left-hand side, we want to number each row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then each potential specification point, we want to paste into the second row. Got it? Paste into the second row. It is that easy. So by the time we get to the end of term, your specification has nearly written itself. Got it? I hope you have. That's 10 minutes, and hopefully you are now ready and raring to go to complete this page and complete the homework. All right, guys, I will see you next week.